Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing together such a caring group of individuals. We are grateful for the fellowship that we find in each other and thankful for the opportunity to work together to help our local communities. Please help us all to find joy and peace in this Thanksgiving season. Help us to find a renewed energy to continue to do your work in our daily lives. Whether we are traveling or hosting loved ones this year, please keep us all safe and healthy. Rather than creating division, we pray that all families can embrace individual differences and appreciate the beauty it creates in the world. Amen.
For our song, you have on the tables in front of you, you have the words to "Come Ye Thankful People, Come." And David Dix. Wonderful. What a great song for this week, right? Do we have any visiting Rotarians? We do. Was that that I heard? Is there anybody visiting online? Do we have any visiting Rotarians? What about guests? I know there's one sitting over at, oh, we've got another one here.
I guess we took care of him too. This is my son Adam. He's 16 and he's the remote running the AV booth apparently.
Fabulous. Welcome. Other guests? Other guests other than Mallory? We've already given her a shout out. So thanks, Mallory. Too much for verb. Okay, we're going to do announcements here in a minute. I do want to take a second because I made a bunch of phone calls on Sunday afternoon and I see people here who we haven't seen in a while. And I want you to know how thankful I am to see Hal Lowry, to see Ernie Mastriani, to see Sean Gordon, although I didn't call you, but you were on the list, but I know you've had meetings at noon, so that's your excuse. Plus you're involved in the grants committee. Are there any other Rotarians that, Steve Bellai's here. We haven't seen him for a while. So, and Bill Arthur's here. So look at that. You know, the difference, the power of a phone call, guys. And Steve Dennis, we have seen you, but not in the last week or two. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here. And I, for one, am grateful. And I hope that this isn't the last time that you'll darken the doors of this church on a Tuesday at noon. I'm not going to speculate beyond that. So thank you very much to our returning Rotarians. We're going to have our announcements. Is Kurt here? Or Dave? So Kurt, I'd like you to talk about the story walk. Rebecca, I'm going to have you talk about the Jingle and Mingle, and Rachel, the toy drive, and Bill Childers has his own announcement.
So Kent Story Walk is this Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. in downtown Kent. For those that aren't familiar, this is the project that we're sponsoring this year through our grants. There's a bunch of pages of a story. It's called Merry Christmas Dragon, something like that. Dragon's Merry Christmas. I should know that. And the pages are up in several different businesses downtown. And so this young people will be coming around reading the pages. There's coat donations and boxes in each one of the businesses. There's also cookies and storytelling of the book itself at the end at 11, 12, and 1 p.m. Anita Harrington will be reading at 12. So if you want to hear our own Rotarian, come see Anita, read the story at 12, and that's taking place at the Kent stage. So if you don't have kids that are up to this age, you have grandchildren that you can bring down. So please come down, support Small Business Saturday, and also the story walk that we're sponsoring. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what to do with this. Anyway, Rachel, it'll be good for you. Jingle and mingle with us on Friday, a week from Friday. That's December 3rd. Many of you have already turned in your reservations. If you haven't, see me at the close of the meeting today, and I'd be happy to put your name on the list. Very casual, no seating, come and go. Kathy thinks that maybe we should get there. The invitation says 6, but come earlier if you'd like, 5:30, and that, anytime in there would be fine, but don't be fashionably late to this one because we're going to get started right on time. And the program is at 6:45. Again, very casual, and hope to see you. Thank you.
So reminder that we are doing our toy drive. Just so everyone knows, last year we did so well, we decided to expand it. So we are getting toys for Salvation Army, as well as Kent Social Services in Coleman. So the more toys we have, the more we can disperse between those 3 organizations. Thank you to everyone who has either already provided money or gifts. We're really excited about that. You can bring them and set them here like people have done. So any questions, please reach out to me, and thank you.
So as I quickly talked with President Kathy today, we decided we'd let people make your own decisions about, do you want to ring the bell for the Salvation Army? So I've got 4 dates for us. They're in the book: Saturday, December 4, Wednesday, December 8, Saturday, December 11th, and then Thursday, December 16th, all at Acme here in Kent. And so there's the 4 pages. You sign up, we're going to pass it around. I can't stick around today, and Rachel Kearns, so get the book back to Rachel Kearns later at the end of the meeting. And District Governor Larry's with us today. Give it up for Larry. Come on. So thank you very much, and thank you for helping the Salvation Army. I know they really need the help this year.
Are there any other announcements that I'm missing? Governor Larry, anything that we should know about? All right. Governor Larry will be our speaker in 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. So I thought, because we haven't done Happy Bucks in a while, and because it's Thanksgiving week, that we could do Happy Bucks. Do I have a volunteer to carry the little basket around? The nice thing about having this in a church, of course, is that you can do this. Okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't. So we're going to need to. Okay.
Who wants to go first? Rachel Kearns.
So as everyone knows, we had our gala 2 weekends ago. And our goal was to raise $33,000 for the 33 years Habitat's been in Portage County. We raised $52,000, so I have $1 for my staff and $1 for my volunteers.
I'm happy about soon to be a grandfather again. Due in 2 days, but I think she's going to probably be a little bit late here. She's expecting to be here next week. So $2 for that. So pretty excited.
I'm happy that my family came last Thursday. We already had our Thanksgiving. It's done.
For $1, and my dollar, Megan is going to be running Boston again this year.
I'm gonna do a IOU on the $7 because it's in the car, but I'm just thankful for my 3 kids. One of them is here, and my wife, and my mother, and my mother and father-in-law, and we'll all be together on Thursday.
Put the money in front and get the microphone.
I don't trust you. I know how this works.
A month ago today, we added a member to our family. We rescued a dog from the APL, and his name is Ernie. I'm not sure if we named him after Ernie Mastriani or not, but he's just a wonderful dog. It's brought a lot of joy into our lives, and I recommend it to anybody else.
You got the money first. So I'm happy that here on Wednesday, I'll get to see my daughter back from Florida for a few days before we got to ship her back out for 2 weeks before she comes home for spring or for winter breaks. So we haven't seen her in several months, so it's gonna be nice to have her home. I have 7 because 2 weeks ago we had our 7th grandchild. So little boy.
I have $2 for each for 3 things. My son and his wife in Talmadge are having their 2nd baby, so that'll be the 4th grandchild, so that's exciting. My mother is coming home from extended care in hospitals and nursing homes. She's been there for almost 2 years, in and out of different facilities, but she's coming home today, so that's very exciting. And my lovely cousin who lives in New Jersey is a home health aide and took FMLA to come here to take care of my mom. So that was great.
I'll put a lot of bucks in because I have 3 things to be thankful for today, or at least maybe 4. So thank you for Kathy for calling me out. Number 1. Second thing is I have all 3 of my kids coming in for Thanksgiving. Looking forward to seeing them tonight. And third thing is I'm thanking Paul and Assad to finally invite me on one of their bike rides. They've been blowing me off for all these years. So hopefully I can keep up with you guys tomorrow afternoon. And last but not least, nobody's mentioned yet, but go Bucks this weekend.
Go Bucks. Anyone else?
I'll put my.
That's loud. This weekend, I got to spend with a couple of my college roommates in Florida. We haven't seen each other in almost probably 2 years now. It would have been 2 years in January because of COVID. So I'm thankful for a little girls trip away from my kids.
All right, woo, there we go. You turn yours off, I'll keep mine on. I actually had some money here, but so I'm thankful for all of you and for this club and all the wonderful things that we're doing. We've done so many things already this year. We've got more on the agenda. You know, the toys, there you go. The toys and things, here, I'll keep that we have, that we're collecting. That's what a gift that is. All the work that our storytelling team, our Story Walk team have done, Kurt and Dave in particular, have really been the leaders on that. And I'm grateful for them. And we had the board, we've gone through all these Rotarian of the Year nominations, and what a blessing of riches we have. We'll only have one Rotarian of the Year, and that person will be announced at our holiday party. So I hope that you're all there. But we truly are an extraordinary club with the number of people and the number of things that they've done in order to be there and to celebrate and to, we've got so much to be grateful for. So I'm grateful for all of those things. It's my pleasure to introduce the speaker for today, Kathy Myers. And you guys probably already know her, so I'm not going to go into any details with my introduction here. But I am going to bring up, and are my slides there? Nope, not yet. Okay. I am going to bring up my slide presentation, maybe. Actually, Autumn is going to do that. So, but right now, it's up. Okay, good. Thanks, Asa. Thanksgiving's in 2 days. We've talked about it. We're thankful for it. So who here is having Thanksgiving at their house? All right. Who here is hosting more than 10 people? Okay, more than 15 people. Okay, Amanda's hand is still up. How many are you hosting? Okay, somewhere between 17 and 20. We hosted Thanksgiving one time and had a whole family show up that we thought were just coming for pie, but they came for dinner. So it was terrific. And fortunately, we had plenty of food. And you know, what a blessing that was. Is everyone here participating in preparing at least one dish for the meal? All right. If you're not on the cooking squad, are you at least on the cleanup crew? And who's on both? So, all right. So our focus is on the holiday and the meal and the turkey and the stuffing and the mashed potatoes. And then there are those big debates, smooth gravy or giblet gravy, cranberry jelly or cranberry sauce, green bean casserole or asparagus, pumpkin pie or apple pie, pumpkin pie, just in case you were wondering. And this year, there's of course that big one, vaxxed or unvaxxed. So when it comes to the food questions, the answer may very well be both, you know, especially if you're having 17 people, you might as well have some of all of it. And regarding the last question, I hope everybody has a very healthy Thanksgiving and that our families and our friends all stay healthy and happy as well. But the problem with all of those questions is it doesn't focus on the day. It focuses, you know, we're not calling it Food Fest or Debate Day. We call it Thanksgiving. So with that in mind, I'd like us to have an attitude of gratitude. And I've done research because I really am a person who tries to be grateful in her life. But I have read studies from Harvard, from Berkeley, and other institutions of higher learning and research. I've listened to TED Talks and I've listened to podcasts. And here's what I've learned. See if this works. Maybe. Which one do you hit? Maybe that one? Nope. This one. Somebody bail me out. Next slide. Gratitude may be broadly defined as the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself. Okay, great. What does that mean, right? Gratitude. Next slide. You're going to be on this slide thing a lot because I have really short slides. Gratitude makes you happier. Experiencing gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation tends to foster positive feelings, which in turn contribute to your overall sense of well-being. Gratitude helps you sleep better. Who knew? Studies have shown that higher levels of gratitude predicted better sleep quality and sleep duration. So in those nights when you're up, you know, and your mind's going with all that stuff in your life and the stresses, just, you know, go back to that, that Bing Crosby song from White Christmas, you know, if you're having trouble sleeping, count your blessings instead of sheep. I think that's kind of where that goes. Gratitude improves both our physical health and our mental health. Expressing and feeling gratitude reduces stress hormones, which negatively impact our physical health. And in studies with people with mental health concerns, practicing gratitude along with counseling carries greater benefits than counseling alone. And those benefits continue even when counseling is concluded. Gratitude can help our financial life. There was an article in Sunday's Plain Dealer. So I was working on this thing, and wouldn't you know, in Sunday's Plain Dealer, there's actually an article in there about gratitude improving your financial life. And the way that that worked, according to that study, was that when we are grateful for what we have, we focus less on what we lack. So while that might not seem to make sense, it has you focus less on what you need or what you want and more on what you have. And happiness is wanting what you already have. Gratitude improves our work life. He's good. We can keep him. Author Lisa Ryan, who studies gratitude and speaks regularly on employee engagement, a topic of special importance in this climate when people are worried about finding people and keeping those employees. But she says, gratitude is to the workplace as oil is to an engine. It needs to be applied liberally and throughout, and is of such importance that a fresh supply must be added regularly to ensure success and longevity. And she goes on with a bunch of other things about that. She's written a whole book about that. But it really, when you stop and think about that quote, about it, if you apply that, if in your workplace, you're remembering to thank your employees, catch them doing what's right, because we all do better with positive reinforcement. Who here likes to get yelled at or disciplined or maybe just disappointed? I've got that disappointed eye on you, you know. I know David Meyer saw that a lot growing up. But you know, look how great he turned out, right? So we're going to do something real quickly. We're going to do a gratitude quiz. All of you should have a booklet on your table and pens. So you'll note on this first slide, I have the gratitude quiz. Just open it up to a page and then take your handy Coleman pen and write A, B, C, D, E, and F down kind of like it is on that slide. And this quiz was in one of the research papers that I read. And they had ones that had many other questions, and this one, which has 6 questions. So I decided to go with this one. So for each one of the questions, you're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I'm going to have, you can, Autumn. Yeah, his father was in the way. So yeah, so hopefully this says strongly disagree. No, next slide. So this is, I'm going to ask a question, and this is the way you rank it. So if you strongly disagree, it's 1. And if you strongly agree, it's 7. And everything else is somewhere in the middle. So that is your scale that if you have a question, raise your hand and we can go through it. So the first question for A, I have so much in life for which to be thankful. And then if you just put one of those numbers 1 through 7 to the right of your letter A, I have so much in life for which to be grateful. So you can strongly strongly disagree is 1, disagree is 2, slightly disagree is 3, neutral is 4, slightly agree is 5, agree is 6, and strongly agree is 7. So number 2 or B, if I had to list everything I feel grateful for, it would be a very long list. This is a really easy question. So I'm not going to linger on these. I think there was, oh, good. Thanks. Look, Autumn, he's good. All right, Autumn, one more. When I look at the world, I don't see much for which to be grateful. So when I look at the world, I don't see much for which to be grateful. Then the next one is, I am grateful for a wide variety of people. The second to last one, E, is, as I get older, I find myself more able to appreciate the people, events, and situations that have been a part of my journey. And the last one is, long amounts of time can go by before I feel grateful to something or someone. So, everybody done with their quiz? That was tough, wasn't it? Okay, here's how we grade this baby. So I want you to add up your scores for questions A, B, D, and E. So not C and F. So add up those scores, and then on this C and F, I want you to reverse score that. So if you put a 1 that you strongly disagree, you score a 7. Okay, does everyone get that? Tom's looking perplexed. Do you want me to explain that? Okay. Okay, but he was nodding no. So we score them 1 through 7. But on those 2, which were the trick questions, come on, it was obvious. Those trick ones, we score them backwards. So if you were really, when you look at the world, I don't see much for which to be grateful. If you strongly disagree, that's a 7. That's how you would score it. All right, so you add it up, and you should have a score between 6 and 42. And my guess is, because we're kind of a happy group and we've got a lot going on positive in our lives for the most part, that for the most of us, we probably have a score between 35 and 42, or at least, 30 and up. I'd like to think that we don't have anybody here who has a score of 6. And if so, Coleman Health Services is just down the road. Couldn't help that, sorry. Those are things, this is just trying to get a gauge of what we can do or what our gratitude is. And as I said, I think as a group, by and large, we are a grateful bunch.
Okay.
So how can we cultivate gratitude? So you think about this, you've got your score, but we can always improve, right? It's kind of like the runners or the bicyclists or the swimmers, all these athletes or musicians. Practice does make perfect. And if we practice gratitude, we will be more grateful. So write a thank you note. Every one of the studies that I read in terms of what you can do, that was on every single list. They didn't all agree, but they all had that one on it. And so I actually have with me boxes of thank you notes. So when you leave, you will have a pad of paper and a pen, but you can also pick up a thank you note and an envelope. You can take the time to write a thank you note to somebody. We should be writing a thank you note once a month, at least. And make sure I'm keeping up with myself. So, and we should be expressing gratitude to a person about how they make us feel or think or what they've done. All of those things are important. We need to, next thing we can do is that we can thank someone mentally. Because sometimes, let's face it, you don't have time to write that note, or sometimes you're just mentally thanking the person in the car in front of you for getting through that light so that you could make it through that light. Okay, I just admitted something about myself, but there's more. But thank someone mentally, even if you can't thank them in person. Keep a gratitude journal. Autumn, if you hit the next one, we should write down the gifts we've received during the day. Pick a number, whether it's 3 things that you're going to list or 5 things you're going to list. Write down that many things for which you are thankful for each day. And sometimes we're thankful for things that don't happen. It's not just things that do happen. Sometimes we're thankful that, we did miss that plane because, somebody was sick on the plane or it had to have an emergency landing. So we end up being grateful for something that we were angry about to begin with. Then we also want to count our blessings. Again, this kind of goes back to the Bing Crosby song, Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep. But think about what went right and how did it make you feel when you had that moment of gratitude? How did you feel? I feel grateful for the ability to share and give. That's one of the things that makes me feel grateful, and I always feel so much better if I'm giving. But those are things that we can do, is just simply count our blessings. We can pray. Now, we're not all super religious people, but we can all take a moment to just say a prayer of gratitude. And he's smiling for his dad. Did you get the, thank you. And we could meditate. That's the last thing on this list. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing on the present moment without judgment. And you can focus on that which you are grateful for, such as the warmth of the sun when it shines, or even when it doesn't, I'm grateful for it. Might be the sounds of nature. All of those things we can be grateful for. So we can think about that when we're having our meditation, quiet ourselves. So I've got to. So as we're going forward this week, as I said, I do want you all to take these little journals. They all have some little hokey thing on the front, but it's really nice. Mine says, be happy, be the one you want to be. I know that there was an assortment of them, so we all have something. Write down here, you've got something and you've got a pen and you can start making those lists. You can write those notes. We all know how much we appreciate being thanked for just the everyday things. Sometimes we live with someone and we work with someone and we think they know how important they are to us. But how hard is it to say, I love you. I care about you. I appreciate what you've done. Thank you for doing these things. Those only take a minute and they can make a difference. And back to the notes. Again, if you write a note, one thing that Lisa Ryan said in her book was, if you tell someone, you leave a memory. But if you write it down and give it to them, you've given them a treasure. So with that, as we go through this week, this happy holiday season, I want to ask you all to take your time to share your gratefulness with those you are grateful for. So that's my program. Thank you very much. Does anyone have questions? Well, you'll note those say Coleman Professional Services, and we've changed our name to Coleman Health Services. So those are the old pens. And I think they'd be fine with it anyway. Awesome.
It's a it's a question, a comment, and also gratitude. The first gratitude, thank you so much for such an inspiring and great program, because I really feel like we are going 100 miles an hour, and sometimes it's difficult to stop. And even though the message is simple, but yet we all forget. So I'm very grateful for you, President Kathy. And just the comment was, those of you that didn't see, a couple of people were commenting, and so was Ben. I think he would like some thank you notes sent to him. So you're welcome, Ben. And the last one, my question was, I'm actually curious what inspired you to think of this program and do it this way. It might be interesting to hear what went on.
Well, thank you for that question. Really, it has to do with the fact that I find that I personally am happier if I maintain an attitude of gratitude. I find that if I look at when something bad happens to me, whether it's a paper cut or, a fender bender, and I haven't had one of those just in case, but recently. But no matter what it is, if I stop and say, if this is the worst thing that happens to me today, it's a great day. So I try to put things into perspective. It's Thanksgiving week, and I just always like to make sure that we're thinking, instead of sweating over the turkeys and the stuffing, which that will all be happening. But I just also want to make sure that we all maintain that thankfulness. And if there are no other questions, I did ask my good friend and my mentor, Nelson Burns, to be my responder.
I'm not too sure. It's Kathy, President Kathy, Mrs. Myers. Thank you very much for your presentation. A couple comments. I'm sure Tom is thankful because he didn't have to respond to you. And I'm sure David's very, very happy because he didn't have to respond to you. I should have incorporated some kind of family response, but I have not. By the way, I like cranberry sauce in that cheap can that embosses all the metal in it and circle around. Just a thought in case anybody's interested. One of the, I think my takeaways of this, even though I've heard lectures of it and I've read a lot about it, is that the message that if you give gratitude to other people, you get it back twofold. That's not why we do it, but we tend to feel wonderful when people express the gratitude of things we do. And I'm sure during this Thanksgiving and hopefully all other days, we spend some time in taking your activities and apply them to being grateful for the people we know and the world around us. President Kathy, thank you again for your presentation.